Good day everybody. Today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to play the game Apiary. Now, Apiary is set in space and you are going to be playing as what are called space bees in the future. Pretty cool, right? Anyway, mainly what you're going to be doing in this worker placement game is you're going to be trying to score points, you're going to be trying to buy tiles, build on your hive, and also trying to win the queen's favor. So let's check it out. So to begin with, you're going to pick what is called the hive mat, and there are several different hive mats that you can choose from. You're also going to choose what is called a faction tile, which is going to have a little bit of a different setup and special abilities. So let's just say I decide I'm going to go ahead and pick this one over here. You'll see where it says starting tile, faction tile. I'm going to go ahead and place this over here like so. And this right here is going to indicate the resources that I'll start with. In the game, you've got 5 different resources you're going to be able to use. Right here you have water, fiber, and pollen. And with these particular resources, you're going to be able to collect these if you end up with a wild symbol somewhere. You also have what is called wax and honey. These are going to be used to purchase more premium type tiles. So right now I'm going to go ahead and start with 1 fiber and then 1 water. Now as the game is progressing, you're going to be able to store more resources in these areas. Each one of them are going to also have a special ability. This one has an end game ability which says 1 point per tile that you build. Also, it is going to tell you the starting workers that you are going to start with on your docking mat. So for this particular one, it will be 2, then 1, then 1. So I'm going to go ahead and place them over here in the active pool. Now I've got another bee over here that I'm going to be able to use later depending on where I place these bees on my place action. So there's 2 main things that you're going to be able to do with these bees. The first is you're going to be able to place them on the board and you're going to go ahead and alternate turns. So what I would simply do is I would just take this bee and I would just go ahead and place it on the board in one of the spaces where the actions are. Here's the game board. I have it set up. I'll go ahead and go over the different sections. The main sections in the board that you're going to be placing your bees are going to be the Explore, Advance, Carve, Convert, Grow, Research. Now this board is double-sided. This one is for 1 to 3 players. On the back it'll have 4 and more players. Over here you have the score track. You're going to put one of your cubes over here and you're just going to be advancing it as you score points. On this side is what's called the queen's favor. And I'll talk a little bit more about this, but this is also going to help give you some points as well. So here's the Explorer section. What you have is the queen ship right here, and it's going to be placed right over here on the queen ship space. If you decide to play a bee, a worker bee over here, it can be whatever strength you want. Let's just say I have a strength 2 bee, and I'm going to place it right over here. Now later on, another player can go ahead and bump me and place my bee there and their bee over there. Now how this is significant is the total of all of the strength of the bees that are in this spot. That's how many spaces you're going to be able to move the queen's ship. Like this, I'll be able to move 2 spaces. Now if I happen to have a strength 4 over here, I'm going to gain another benefit, which in this case will be move the queen ship up to this many spaces and then explore the planet. So I'll get another free move. So right now, let's just say I happen to have 2. So I'm going to be able to move the queen 2 spaces. So let's just say I go 1 and then 2. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and this is going to be a resource token, and all of these are going to be resource tokens of some type. This one has 2 water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 water, and I'm going to go ahead and put it onto my docking mat if I have room. Any of these little tiles that I get from exploring a planet, I'm going to go ahead and place over here on the docking mat. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip over one of these tiles and explore the planet. So this particular planet, I'm going to go ahead and receive this resource right over here. This is a wild. Let's just say I decided to pick another water. I'll just go ahead and put it onto my docking mat, and now I'm also going to be able to place another resource on here of my choosing. So let's say I decide I'm going to go ahead and put a fiber on there. So I'm going to place the fiber on there, and since I placed the fiber on there and discovered the planet, I'm also going to go ahead and pick up a fiber and again put it onto my mat. So now the next player that ends up moving the bee over there is going to be able to collect these resources. On the advanced section, this is going to allow you the opportunity to buy 3 different types of tiles. You're going to be able to buy farm tiles, recruit tiles, and development tiles. Now what these numbers represent is going to be the amount of strength of bees that is over in this section. You'll play a bee over here if it's empty. This is a strength 3 bee. So what this means is I will be able to play here or here, and then I'll follow the column, and this is where I'll be able to try to purchase one of the following tiles. Now if I happen to have a strength 4 bee, I'm also going to gain 3 victory points, and I'll also get this benefit right here. So the way this works is, let's just say I had a strength 3B and I played it over here. And I'm going to go ahead and look at the different tiles. Now here's what they do. The farm tile is mainly going to be used to store resources. You're only going to have a limited amount of places to store resources in the beginning of the game. Right over here is going to be the cost to build the farm. And right here is going to be what is called your income. And I'll talk about how you're going to be able to earn income here in just a little bit. But this essentially is going to tell you that your income is going to be a queen's favor and a fiber. The recruit tokens over here are going to give you abilities that are going to last throughout the game. So let's take a look at one here. This one says that anything that you get from the farms is no longer going to cost any extra water. So that could be very helpful. Again, this is the cost. This is the type of card that it is. And this is how many points it's going to be worth. And next up is going to be the development ones, and these are going to be one-time bonuses. This particular one says explore the planet where the queen ship is currently located at strength 4, so that'll give you that ability one time, and again it's going to have the cost and how many victory points it will be worth at the end. So in order to buy one, I'm going to go ahead and look again at my B. I can go here or here, and let's just say I decide I want to go ahead and purchase this tile over here. So I'll go ahead and pay the cost, which is going to be these two things, and then I'm going to go ahead and place this. So in order to place a tile, I'm simply going to go ahead and place it adjacent to any tile that is already on the board. Now you're also going to notice that there are some symbols on here. These are going to be rewards that you're going to be able to collect anytime you place a tile on that particular spot. So if I put it here, I would get a queen's favor. If I placed it here, I would get 1 victory point. I'm going to go ahead and place it right over here, so I'll go ahead and collect my queen's favor. Up next is carve, and only a strength 4B is going to be able to be placed over here. And whenever you do that, you're going to go ahead and pick one of these tiles, and you're going to go ahead and pay the cost, and this is going to be in honey. And this is mainly going to be used for end game scoring. So this particular one will give you 1 point for every resource that you have on your hive board and then on any of your frames. Over here is convert. This is going to allow you to convert resources and cards. So let's just say, for example, I had a power of 3 on here. So this is going to allow me to perform 3 different conversions, and here's the different conversions. This will allow me to trade a card in my hand for a card in the deck. This will allow me to trade any resource for any resource. This will allow me to trade a pollen and a fiber to get a wax, and this will allow me to trade 2 pollen and water to get honey. Now if you have a 4, this is going to give you a unique ability to do what is called teaching a dance. All of these tiles right here are going to have a different type of conversion formula on there, and what you'll do if you play a level 4 is you're going to go ahead and draw one of these, and then this one says dance of blank and blank for this. So what you'll do is you'll just simply draw 2 of these tiles over here, and this is going to be how you'll be able to do the conversion. So this says a dance of 1 victory point, which means you'll have to sacrifice a victory point and a pollen. You will get 2 victory points and then a card. Also, you'll go ahead and place your colored cube on there, and anytime somebody decides to do a conversion with your cube on it, that is going to give you a queen's favor. Over here is grow. Grow is going to give you a couple of options. Let's just say again I place a level 3B over here. I'll look at the strength that I have, and this is going to allow me to do these certain actions. This 1 strength over here, if I trade in a pollen, I will be able to get 1 worker bee to use on my turn at a strength 1. This is going to allow me to get what is called a frame. I'll spend 2 resources and I will go ahead and pick up this frame. So here is a frame, and what you're going to do is you're going to place this frame next to either a tile or one of these hexes, but you're not going to overlap them. So you could do something like this, for example. You can even go off the board if you would like to, something like this. Essentially what these are going to do is you're going to be able to get an extra 8 bonus points if you are able to put tiles on every single one of these spaces. Here is the research option. I'll go ahead and place a worker placement of 2 here. If it was a 4, I would also be able to plant a card, and I'll talk about how that works in a minute. This simply tells you that you'll be able to draw an X amount of cards, and these are cards that you're going to be able to use in the game. This one says move 1 of your bees within the hibernation cone and gain the new bonus. This gives you end game points as well. And you're going to go ahead and choose 1 card and discard the other. Now what planting is going to do is it's going to disregard all of the text that's in the top, and it's going to focus on the end game scoring on the bottom. You'll be able to tuck your card underneath one of these 2 slots over here. You'll unlock these 2 slots anytime you place a frame. You'll just simply slide it under the board like so, and revealing its endgame points. And finally, we have the hibernation cone. Now, anytime a level 4 bee ends up getting retrieved or gets bumped off the board, it is going to have to hibernate. This bee was going to go ahead and be placed off of the board to be used for later, and you're going to get one of the little hibernation tokens, and then you're going to place it in one of these spaces over here in the hibernation cone. For a 2-player game, you'll use this, and then you'll use this, and each of them are going to have a different reward on them. So let's just say I decided I was going to go ahead and place my hibernation bee over here. This would allow me to go ahead and pick up a resource. So let's just say I decided to pick this up, and it would be a one-time action. So one thing that happened in this game is what is called bumping. Now, what bumping means, if another player or yourself decides to play a bee in this area, for example, you're going to go ahead and move the bee that was there down 1, and then you'll go ahead and place the bee here. Now, this particular one says +1. So what this simply means is you're going to go ahead and increase the bee that got bumped there up 1 level. Now, if at another time another bee shows up, I can actually get bumped off the board. Now, whenever you get bumped off the board, you're going to have a couple of options. You can either place it over here in your active pool and increase it by 1, or you can place it over here in your landing area. You won't change the strength, however, you will be able to collect income once you are able to retrieve your bees. Now, another thing I can do is I can do what is called retrieve, and this means I will take all the bees off of the main board and then put them back here in my active pool. When I do this, I'm going to go ahead and increase all the bees' strength by 1. If I happen to have any bees over here in the landing area, I will go ahead and move them up as well. And now I'm going to go ahead and be able to collect income for the bees that I've placed there. So when you collect income, you're going to go ahead and look at the tiles with this symbol on here, and this is the collect income symbol. And depending on how many bees that you retrieve, you're going to be able to collect income from that many tiles. So if I had 3 bees and I happen to have 3 of these tiles with that symbol, I could collect from all 3 of the tiles. This particular one will grant me a Queen's Favor and a fiber. Now, the game is going to end once all of the hibernation spaces have been covered. And what's going to happen is you're going to go ahead and go into final scoring. You'll take all the points that you've earned throughout the game, and then you're going to combine them with the endgame scoring. And here is a list of the different types of endgame scoring that you are going to add up. You'll total it up, and whoever has the highest amount of points is going to win the game. Well, I have to say the theme to this game is rather interesting. Bees in space in the future. That's pretty funny. Can honestly say I've never heard of a theme like that. One thing I've noticed about this game is the versatility of it. I think it's very cool the way you can upgrade your bee's strength, and by doing that, that can actually open up more opportunity for you. For example, being able to move on the explore space. Also, whenever you get a worker 4 bee, anytime you retrieve it, you'll be able to hibernate and get bonus points for that. And you'll also be able to get added bonuses in the different places where you're able to play your bee if you have a worker 4 bee. And there are a ton of ways to score in this game, with all the different types of tiles you can get, with the tiles where you can earn income, and then the tiles that have one-time scoring bonuses, and then the tiles that have ongoing abilities, and of course just with the hexes and the different rewards that you can get on your hive mat, and then of course the Queen's Favor and all those little things. There are a ton of ways that you can score points, and as you can see in the score, there's a lot of end game scoring as well. So even if you are behind in the game, by the time you get to the end game scoring, you could leap ahead. Now, the one thing with this game is there is a little bit of luck involved depending on what tiles end up showing up. Some of the tiles are going to be more powerful than others, but throughout the game you'll have the opportunity to try to figure out a way to balance that out yourself with other tiles, and maybe with other ways of scoring that are made available to you. As a worker placement game, I really enjoy this game. I like the different choices that you have. I like the fact that depending on where your bee strength is, that can actually add a factor and give you bonuses. There's just, again, a lot of different things that you can do in this game, and a lot of different ways you can score. Then when you get the frames and you add those, you can have an opportunity to score even more points. Just bonus points all over the place with this game. But anyway, it's a very enjoyable game. I like the theme, I like the way it plays, I like the versatility of it. Anybody I think that enjoys worker placement games should definitely check this one out. My experience with worker placement games is this is definitely different, and that's always a good thing. That's my review of Apiary. We'll see you later. Keep on gaming.